I've said it before in a few videos, I'm an environmental engineering major at a public university in the state of Iowa. This is my sophomore year, a year full of annoying assignments and online lectures. COVID in college. Holy shit. This was easily the most painful semester yet for me. During the writing of the script, I had a conversation about this with a friend of mine about online courses as a whole, and this semester, he personally thought that online coursework was better. I respectfully, we'll go with that, disagreed with him. This gave me the idea to write this video in the form of an argumentative essay. We'll start with discussing what a normal year is like, my freshman year that is. Then I'll discuss the new changes that occurred this semester and go through the goods and bads, in my view, and why someone may enjoy this semester. At the end, I'll provide articles for both sides. Hopefully this will give an insight into both points of view, and hopefully you guys all enjoy the video. So what is a normal semester like, you might ask? Well, depending on your schedule and your major, your experience in college will be very different. This may only be for engineering majors, so be warned. In a normal semester, you usually will have in-person lectures with a large number of students in attendance. You may also have a lab course with way too much coursework, and maybe even a research course here and there. Overall, this creates a structure to your day that is a godsend in college. You can build your day around this and give you more confidence in your day as a whole. You may also have lunch and dinner, and you can schedule that accordingly. And if you're lucky, maybe even have breakfast. Usually you'll eat this at a dining center if you're on campus, which is a cafeteria or restaurant of sorts, with many different food options. Now if you also live on campus, you will also have events in the dorm that give you a community feel while you're in that hall. There's also campus-wide in-person activities and on-campus clubs to join. And all of this is only available in the normal semester. So what was this past semester like? Chaos. I took 14 credits this semester, technically 17, but I had to drop a class because fuck this semester and fuck statics. I took Calc 3, Organic Chemistry, a Sustainability Elective course, and Environmental Engineering course. My Environmental Engineering course is actually what really kept me going this semester. Without it, I probably would have just been completely fucked this semester. Most weeks involved my in-person lab, a long lab report, along with loads of homework and lectures, and mainly organic chemistry. Like I said, this semester was so bad, I had to drop my first class. That's how bad it was. I'll be taking that course next semester, but it will be online, so I'm probably screwed still. Okay, so this semester fucking sucked. So, the reason it sucked for me and many others is due to the move online. The instructors were not prepared for this, and the courses aren't designed to be taught remotely. On top of that, they had to give more homework than usual and more material to go over since they shortened their semester. Personally, I'm already not a fan of online courses because they're just worse, in my opinion. Why do I think that? Like I said, I'm personally against online courses and more in favor of in-person instruction. I think this semester as a whole shows one of the reasons why I'm against online courses. It's way harder just to pay attention in an online course compared to in-person. When you're in person, it kind of forces you to pay attention in a way, I think. That feeling is also just different when you're in person. You have a feeling of wanting to learn more instead of being online. For me at least, it gives you more structure as well to your day. When the courses are online, you lose that structure, and it's a very loose day. You do whatever you want whenever you want. You can choose when to watch your lectures or just don't watch them. Some people may argue that the goal of college is a degree, but I disagree. The goal is to learn. And you learn a lot while in college, both when it comes to schooling, but also when it comes to life in general. You grow a lot in college, and when you are online, you lose a lot of that growth. You lose the social aspect of college as a whole, which is so important. Why am I spending thousands just to be on my PC like I usually would be if I'm not in college? If college were free, I think it'd be a little more acceptable to be online compared to in person, but I still would be way more in favor of being in person. I'm personally not going to college just for a high-paying career. That's part of it, of course, but that's not my main priority. I have a passion and I really enjoy my field. I love to learn more and become more proficient in different fields. They're subsects in my general field of environmental engineering. On top of that, my learning style aligns best with more physical learning and visual as well. I don't learn very well when it comes to verbal as a whole, so you can see why overall I don't learn very well in this format. I mean, after all, I am an environmental engineering major, so my knowledge is mainly in the physical world. Overall, online coursework just doesn't resonate with my own goals and my own learning style. My friends disagreed. Well, 3 of them, as a matter of fact, and they are more in favor of online courses. One of them took some classes online for a short while when they were in high school, and actually enjoyed them more than his in-person courses. He felt more motivated to keep up with his coursework while online and cared more while online. My roommate was also a fan of online courses. He personally felt that it fit his learning style better than normal in-person courses. He likes to sleep in and listens to his lectures whenever he seems fit. His learning style involves audio the most and has never enjoyed going to lectures. Overall, he enjoyed online instruction more than in-person instruction. My last friend was also in favor of online courses. To quote her, "I took one online course before COVID and liked it, but was never going to do it again. However, it ain't that bad. I learned better on my own to get to make my own schedule. This entire quarter, I had everything nicely spaced out. Some days were free, some were heavy." End quote. She enjoys the flexibility that is allowed in an online course, and enjoys the ability to go through the lectures at her own pace. She can stop wherever she wants to and continue at another part. She also enjoys asynchronous classes more than synchronous. I think everyone agrees with this. Quick note here, by the way, asynchronous is a video of a lecture, synchronous is a live stream of a lecture. Another thing I'd like to note here is both my roommate and my second friend, or third friend I guess, are a computer engineering major and a computer science major respectively. Like I've said previously, I'm an environmental engineering major, so our majors definitely will have an impact on how we learn in the material, obviously. So that's our discussion of it. What about others? What are their thoughts on it? It's actually somewhat difficult to find good, solid evidence for either side because there is bias on both sides. Both articles I found are biased, but I think they still provide an outside perspective, so they should still be useful for what I'm looking for in this. So this section will be in favor of in-person and against online. They made 3 main points in the article in question: lack of interpersonal skill development, lack of memory development, and lack of student motivation. The first point is very similar to some points I made. You lose a lot of the social connections made in in-person instruction. The second point is a highly debated issue in itself. Is a discussion of memorization of material and whether that's a good way to teach or not. This is actually a good topic for a future video. Just to summarize my stance, memorization is important, but shouldn't be prioritized over other things. So you lose this important aspect of college. Memorization is very important both for schooling but also in life in general. Okay, so lastly, motivation. You'll lose a lot of motivation when you have online instruction. This lack of motivation causes lower performance on exams and the course as a whole. An important quote from this article is, quote, "In the end, every student must ask themselves, am I going to college to develop life skills and learn, or am I going to college to get a diploma?" End quote. This is something I also mentioned, and I think this is the question you need to ask when thinking of this argument as a whole and when deciding which you are more in favor of. Overall, I think this is some pretty good evidence in favor of my point of view. Now I'll go into the other point of view to show you what others may think of it. The argument in favor of online instruction is actually pretty solid as well. So for this section, I will be referencing an article from MSU Today, Michigan State University, MSU. Having an option to take online courses allows students to take courses at their own pace and on whatever they feel it fit, if all the different technological advances are used appropriately, such as, quote, online chat, discussion forums, replayable video lessons, and online meetings, end quote. It's much easier for the students to be more engaged with the material at hand. According to recent studies, students perform just as well, if not better, in an online environment. I want to just add something here though. Let me personally add that in an online setting it's much easier to cheat, and you're able to do so without being caught compared to in person. So, due to that and the fact that you have other material available, this might impact their studies, so a little thing to add there. I think an important quote from this article is, quote, Offering degree programs in 2 modes, as we do at Michigan State, means that online students can learn alongside on-campus students, bringing a diversity of experiences to classrooms from which everyone benefits. The future of university education is giving learners choices which today's technologies make possible." End quote. I mean, fair, and I agree. I think we do need the option of online versus in-person. That doesn't change my stance though. Overall, this is pretty good evidence of why online coursework is just as good as if. From my research here, I think there's a large amount of misunderstanding when it comes to this argument as a whole. Some people argue students don't perform well in an online setting simply due to the lack of motivation. And I think this is just missing the point entirely. It's not due to a lack of motivation only, it's due to way more. This past semester fucking sucked, both for me and so many others, pretty much everyone. This is due to a large number of issues, both due to online coursework and the transition to such a format out of nowhere pretty much. This semester is more of a symptom of the current situation of education here in the US, and less of a cause. It's much more difficult to understand the material when it's presented in the format that doesn't fit your learning style. If you can present it in the best format for the student, then they'll understand the material better than simply presenting it in your format that you decide as an instructor. So, it's not simply motivation, because if you don't understand the material as a whole, and then they change the format, you understand it better, that's not motivation, that's simply how you present the material and how that student is able to comprehend the material. So it's a little different and much more complex than some people try to make it out to be. Now for my conclusion to the video, I think it's very important to provide both online and in-person opportunities for coursework. When discussing this with my friends, I got heated and I misdirected my anger a bit. My anger should not be an online instruction, but forced online instruction which occurred this year. That's not to say I'm not against them, I'm still against online coursework. I think online courses allow poor students to still obtain a good education, but only in certain circumstances, because you can still get in person, so the benefit can be great in certain circumstances, but worse in others. So it's an important thing to understand the benefits and the negatives that may occur due to online coursework. I actually prefer it for certain formats, such as online courses or winter courses. So mainly when the material as a whole doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things for your major. Please don't view this video as me bitching about this semester. This video is meant to be much more than that. I hope you all enjoyed the video and you appreciated my stance and other stances on the topic. And I hope I presented it in a format where it doesn't seem like I'm forcing my opinion onto you. I hope it feels like an actual discussion going on, even though no one else is here, but you get the point. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.